Welcome to the Awaken, Heal, and Thrive podcast. I'm Benjamin Bernstein, and today's episode is called My Unconditional Surrender. This episode is sponsored by my book, the #1 Amazon bestseller called Instant Divine Assistance, your complete guide to fast and easy spiritual awakening, healing, and more. Just go to Amazon and search for Instant Divine Assistance or click the link in the show notes. Be sure to make sure the author is Benjamin Bernstein so you don't pick up one of those unauthorized pirated copies that are starting to show up on Amazon. I publish both audio and video versions of Awaken, Heal, and Thrive, so take your pick. The video versions are on my YouTube channel called Benjamin Bernstein Podcasts. Be sure to subscribe to Awaken, Heal, and Thrive wherever you get it, and if you have not already, be sure to click the link in the show notes for a free chance to win a full year of my Awakening Plus online membership. That's a $189 value, and I announce a new winner every month. For now, I'm dropping new episodes of Awaken, Heal, and Thrive twice a month around the 9th and 23rd. I hope to resume weekly episodes after I complete some time-sensitive projects. So, my unconditional surrender, what is that about? I do a lot of ayahuasca ceremonies, and my most recent one was really profound on this subject. What was happening, as often happens in my ceremonies, I'll get deep into the medicine and some big, heavy, dark stuff will come up that's been stored away till now inside me. And I have to kind of work my way through it and get back to my awakening. And my usual way of doing this is I feel the energy, the heaviness, and physical posture is important in this context. It's really important that as soon as I can, I get into an upright position. I have a little meditation cushion I sit on. I sit upright with good posture. I call in my own awakening. I often say my invocation, maximum embodied awakening that serves highest good, please. Sometimes I'll say I am that I am, more than once sometimes. But these things, along with holding a strong focus on whatever the heavy energy is usually enough to clear it. And this has been my process for years. The process usually is I'll be in this heaviness, and this is, again, not something brand new that just showed up, but it was something that was inside me. It was already there, blocking that next awakening. And it's through facing and ultimately dispelling this heavy energy that I get to my next awakening. And the next awakening is the reward. And that's why I've experienced so many awakenings over the initial awakening I had back in 2012, because there's always another one waiting on the horizon. However, this last ceremony, my technique did not work. Normally, just me holding strong focus, sitting upright, declaring my divinity is enough to ultimately work through this. It might take an hour or two sometimes, but ultimately I get back there, and the reward of the process is the deepest awakening yet. But this ceremony, it was not working. I would get partway through, I'd dispel the heaviness partway, and then I would fall back in. And after an hour or two of this, these ceremonies run like 7-8 hours, I realized this is not going to work. I have failed. I cannot break through on my own. And kind of a shocking revelation. I thought, what am I going to do? And I said, well, Benjamin can't do it. And I guess I'm going to have to trust my divinity to do it for me. And instead of sitting up, which I was exhausted by that time, I laid down and I say, higher self, I surrender. And somehow I knew in this moment that nothing less than complete, unconditional, and utter surrender would do the job. Now, I need to give you a little backstory on this. I have been progressively surrendering to my divinity for years. It's an ongoing practice for me. But until this night, I had one exception that I would always declare. I say, look, Spirit Song and I, my beloved life partner, are back together. We were apart for many years, and then we resumed our romantic partnership. Neither of us ever thought that would happen. And I made a solemn vow to her, I will never leave you again. We are going to be together. The only way that this relationship is going to end, as far as I'm concerned, is if one of us dies. If she wanted to leave, I would certainly allow that. But I told her, I'm in for good. There's no waffling this time. I'm here for sure. And so when I had done my divine surrenders, I say, Spirit, take over. I say, the only exception here is I will not break my vow to Spirit Song. I am declared to her, no ifs, ands, or buts. And I somehow knew this time that the only possible surrender this time was unconditional. I said, I can't make that exception anymore. I'm just going to have to trust that when my higher self takes over this body and runs it, that Benjamin will keep the promise that he made. Now you might be wondering, well, how does Spirit Song feel? Well, I shared this with her when I got back home from that weekend, and she completely understood. She, like me, understands that the commitment to the divine is the one that supersedes everything. That happened a few weeks ago, and I feel like my commitment to her has been as strong as ever, and it's my sincere hope that that commitment remains solid for as long as I'm alive. But I was in a situation where if I don't get my higher self to get back here and take over this body, then I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want this darkness running the show. Sometimes you get into an ayahuasca ceremony, it feels kind of life or death, like really high stakes. And this was one of those moments. So it's okay. I know I'm just going to trust and have faith that the vow to Spirit Song will be honored, but this ego has to surrender without any exceptions to the divinity. And so I laid down, I said, okay, for the first time here, I completely, unconditionally, and absolutely surrender. And I just laid down and just kind of relaxed. And, I had struggled for, it seemed like a long time from ego. And once I relaxed and laid down, almost instantly, the peace came over me, the darkness was gone, and I was in a whole new awakening beyond anything I'd ever known. And I apologize that I can't describe these awakenings, as many spiritual masters have said. There's just no language for them. You can throw words like bliss, euphoria, and ecstasy at it, but you just have to be there to have an understanding of what it is. So I laid there in bliss for hours. And it was interesting too. There was a sense of, after I relaxed and the higher self really took over the body in a way it never had before, there was a sense of being the higher self in the body and having to get to know it. I said, okay, what is this place I'm in? I'm going to have to kind of figure out how it works, and kind of just, taking a few minutes to get comfortable being in the body. Now, again, I've had, my higher self in me to degrees, but this was the most complete embodiment so far. And I say so far because my belief is that, there's always a deeper awakening available. I'm not sure any human body could contain the entire higher self. It might just fry it, but I think one can progressively hold more and more. Sometimes when I'm working with a client, I'll say a little joke. I say, to really be utterly and completely devoted to your awakening only requires one thing. And so, what's that? I say, everything. And for me, this was the everything moment. Now, have I ever since that moment walked around completely and utterly fully occupied by a higher self? No, there's still some separate ego there, but it was a move toward that. And as I always do when I have a significant breakthrough in an ayahuasca ceremony, I cultivate it in my daily practice. So one thing I've added in my sittings when I sit alone, in my mesa daily, or most days, anyway, I'll invoke maximum surrender of ego to higher self guidance and occupation, or something like that. I haven't kind of nailed the total language down yet, but the idea is I'm just letting go. Informally, I'll just, hey, take over, speaking to my higher self. And I just relax as Benjamin and just leave as much space as I can for that energy to come in and be what drives. And my belief right now is that that process will always be ongoing. There's always a deeper, fuller divine presence available that hasn't showed up yet. So it's exciting to think that no matter how fully embodied by divinity that Benjamin is, that it can always go deeper. So just wanted to share that experience. And if you want to ponder some thoughts, you might ask, how dedicated are you to your spiritual awakening? How willing are you to surrender everything about your life, your personality, your ego, to let the divine run it for you? For me, it took years and years of incremental surrender and watching when I would let the divine guide and run things always turned out better. And so over a many year process, Benjamin gradually having more and more trust in the higher self, until I got to this point where I was finally ready to just give it all, everything, every bit of me, to the divine, and trust that it would run this lifetime well if I did that. And of course, as one does that, there's less and less sense of separate ego. I sometimes say, I am so tired of free will. I'm ready to be done with it. I just want divine to lead and Benjamin to happily follow the guidance without even thinking about it. And to me, that's the happiest possible scenario I can imagine. So it's getting closer and, always going deeper. So like I say, I believe now that life is all journey, no destination. So again, I don't expect an ultimate final union or anything, but I just love the fact that it just keeps getting deeper. So each of us has our own path. Some of us are into awakening, some it's not a concern at all. But I will just tell you, in my experience, the more I'm able to surrender more fully, more completely, more utterly to divinity, to its running me, to its just doing everything through Benjamin, and Benjamin just happily letting it until there's less and less sense of a separate Benjamin at all, the better things have become. So those are my thoughts for this episode. As I record this on June 8th of 2023, my #1 Amazon bestseller called Instant Divine Assistance, Your Complete Guide to Fast and Easy Spiritual Awakening, Healing, and More, has received 122 ratings on Amazon. 85% are 5-star. And the reviews keep coming. I'm delighted to share my newest 5-star review from Brittany Beeson. She called it, "It Works." She says, "I used EFT, that's emotional freedom technique, which some people call tapping. I did that for a while too." She says, "I used EFT for almost 2 years. While it did help me, working with my higher self to heal and manifest has proven to be faster and much more powerful. I tried the invocation on my own and experienced my higher self right away. I now practice this every day, and I look forward to continue healing and growing." She says, "Try the invocations for yourself and you'll see what I mean. What have you got to lose except layers of baggage? Happy healing, everyone." Thank you so much for that wonderful quote. The ebook is only $3.99 and it's included with Kindle Unlimited. The paperback is only $12.99. Also, the events in my Awakening Plus online membership, which she joined, by the way, range from bubble bath gentle to shamanically intense. They support your individual healing and awakening, as well as global spiritual awakening. We also have community-focused events where members ask questions and connect with each other. If you're not a member yet, join one of our free events. 2 calls are open to the public each month. Experience how Awakening Plus can accelerate your personal evolution. Hundreds of satisfied members make up our supportive online community. Would it be a good fit for you? As of June 2023, Awakening Plus members receive these exclusive benefits. At least 9 of our monthly Zoom events are for members only. Some members attend lots of events and some don't do any. In fact, most members prefer to experience our events when it's best for them, choosing from an archive of over 550 life-transforming experiences. Amazingly, the recorded events are just as powerful as the live ones. We even have an easy-to-use best of guide to help you choose the event that will help you most right now. There's 3 major courses in the membership, with more coming. There's a members helping members service. You can pair up with an accountability partner if you wish to help stay on track. And you get constant support from the Awakening Plus group energy field. And there's a lot more beyond that too. Click the link in the show notes to learn more, or go to awakeningplus.com. That's awakeningplus.com. Thanks so much for being here. Once again, I'm Benjamin Bernstein, and we are wrapping up. Please leave me a 5-star rating, review, or comment wherever you get this episode so others can also awaken, heal, and thrive. And be sure to click the link in the show notes for a chance to win 1 free year of my Awakening Plus online membership. Thanks again for spending this time with me. I wish you infinite blessings.